So in this nugget, I want to take the time to go over the call flow for Contact Center Express. So what happens when a call comes in from the PSTN or maybe ITSP, goes through our voice gateways, goes over to CUCM, and eventually goes to Contact Center Express. How is that call routed? So in this nugget, we'll do just that, go over that call flow. So here we have a scenario where the customer calls an 800 phone number. Now it doesn't have to be 800 phone number. Many corporations have a toll-free number that could be advertised on their website or maybe on business cards or maybe an ad on TV, but a customer calls in via the PSTN or ITSP into our environment. So in our environment, the call goes into our cube or comes through our cube, and this could be a voice gateway with PRIs or maybe a voice gateway with FXO ports. But that call comes with information about that call, and the information being the DNIS or the dot number identification service, which is the called number. So let's say the called number was 1-813-555-4000. So Cube then sends that DNIS information, that 813-555-4000, and CUCM then asks, how do I route this call? CUCM then sees it has a CTI route point associated with that called number. So let's say, for example, that 1-813-555-4000, there's some transformation of the number either at Cube or at CUCM, but at the end of the day, that number is 4000. And that 4000 is associated with a CTI route point on CUCM. So therefore, CUCM has a route point with the extension 4000, and CUCM, or CCX, I'm sorry, has a trigger also assigned 4000. So if you remember that JTAPI user, CUCM now has a CTI route point 4000 that's associated with this CCX JTAPI user. So next, Contact Center Express looks at a application that it has configured on the server, and that application has that trigger associated of 4000 in our example, and it then looks for a call control group that's associated with that application. And remember that call control group contains a list of CTI ports. So then CCX finds an available CTI port, then replies to CUCM with the directory number of this CTI port, and at this point CUCM can begin to set up this call between itself and Contact Center Express. So as we stated, CUCM now knows the extension of where it should send the call to, it being the CTI port. So now that application starts to execute that script that's associated with that application, and then here is where the magic happens. Does it play a menu? Does it route a caller to an agent? Does it need to collect digits so it can perform a database lookup? And this is what we'll spend the majority of our time, is writing these scripts for different scenarios to do different things. So in the event that this script is attempting to find an agent, once it sees an available agent as in the current ready the status, that call is routed to an agent, and then at that point the customer and that agent are now talking to each other. And this call then continues until either the agent or the caller ends that call or terminates that call. So I wanted to back up here and just further explain when this call comes into our environment through Cube, the RTP stream is initially between Cube and CCX via that CTI port that was initially chosen. And the CTI port is what plays the prompts, the menus, and that of course is played to this call right here that calls in. Once that call is routed to an agent, then at that point the RTP stream is not between the voice gateway or Cube to CCX, but rather from that Cube directly to the agent who answered that call. So all this to say that the media does not pass through CUCM. It's being passed initially from the gateway or Cube over to CCX, and once it finds an agent, then that stream therefore is sent directly to the agent from that Cube or voice gateway. So in this nugget, we went over a call flow, what occurs when a customer calls into our environment to our call center. And now we know why we spoke about the different terms or terminology when it came to Contact Center Express, as we use some of those terms in this call flow example here. I hope it's been informative for you. I'd like to thank you for reviewing.